The alarm lights inside the Galactic Empire's central archive turned red for the first time in centuries. Dozens of alien analysts rushed to their stations, confused and afraid. The system had scanned a new species from a distant blue planet, but the result made no sense. The database showed nothing. No history, no biology logs, no military records, no diplomatic entries. It was as if the species didn't exist. High Commander Vrel watched the empty file in silence. His voice shook as he spoke. This is impossible. Every species for 12,000 years is listed. How can this one be blank? An older advisor whispered, "Only one thing causes this. Someone powerful removed their history." A cold fear filled the room. They checked the scans again. The readings were strange. The species looked weak at first, soft-skinned, small, simple. But their technology told a different story. The humans had built massive starships, far more advanced than their biology suggested. To investigate, the Empire sent a stealth drone to the solar system. The drone moved silently, invisible to all known sensors. It observed Earth until something horrifying happened. A giant human dreadnought appeared from behind the moon, black, silent, covered in heavy armor plates. The drone tried scanning it. Nothing. Its sensors failed. Then a human voice spoke directly into the drone's communication channel. "You should not have scanned us." Every Empire officer froze. The drone tried to run, but a blinding flash hit it, and the signal ended instantly. No explosion, no debris, just gone. Commander Vrel stepped back from the screen. What kind of species can erase our knowledge and detect a ghost drone? Before anyone answered, a new transmission appeared, sent from Earth itself. "If you come to us, your Armada will not return." The Empire felt its first true fear. The order to assemble a response fleet echoed through the Empire's command halls. Thousands of soldiers, pilots, and strategists moved with forced confidence, but feared behind every step. No one wanted to admit it, not even to themselves. But the message from Earth felt like a warning from something ancient and dangerous. Commander Vrel watched the fleet's formation on a giant hologram. 60 warships, 15 carriers, 3 planet-breaker cruisers. It was one of the largest task forces the Empire had deployed in a century, yet he felt no pride. "Humans, why were they erased from history?" he whispered. A junior officer approached, shaking slightly. "Sir, we analyzed the last milliseconds of the drone signal." Vrel turned sharply. "And it wasn't destroyed. It was overwritten, as if the humans edited the drone out of existence." The commander stared at the young officer, unable to find his voice. Meanwhile, deep inside the Empire fleet, engineers reported something more terrifying. Their long-range scanners were glitching, showing ghost signals, massive shapes that appeared for 1 second, then vanished, as if something was watching them from far away. "No known technology can jam our systems." An engineer said, pale as ash, "This is deliberate. Someone is reading us." Back on Earth, humans watched everything. Their silent ships hovered in deep shadow, tracking every Empire movement without being detected. They listened to the Empire's fear. They calculated every jump. They prepared. The Empire fleet finally charged its hyperlanes toward the solar system. But the moment they activated the route, their screens flashed. Intrusion detected. The fleet's entire navigation map rewrote itself in real time. A single human message replaced their coordinates. "You are entering protected territory. Turn back." Commander Vrel felt his heart drop. Humans were not hiding. They were waiting. The Empire fleet burst out of hyperspace, expecting a silent, empty region near the edge of the solar system. Instead, the moment they arrived, their sensors were crushed by a flood of impossible data. Dozens of unknown objects surrounded them. Not ships, not asteroids. Something else. Dark shapes drifting like shadows. Commander Vrel stared at the hologram. "Identify them." We can't," the sensor team stammered. "The readings keep shifting. It's like they're there and not there." Before the fleet could regroup, a calm voice filled every ship at once. "Empire fleet, you were warned. It was human. The voice carried no anger, no fear, only certainty. As if humans already knew how this encounter would end. The shadow objects slowly powered up. For a moment, the Empire thought they were weapons. But then the truth hit them. They were human observation drones, and each one was the size of an Empire fighter. How did they place these without us detecting anything? An officer whispered. No one answered. The drones formed a perfect circle around the fleet, closing them in like a net. Then something even worse appeared. A single black dreadnought slid out from behind a cluster of dark clouds in space. Silent, slow, confident, it dwarfed every ship in the Empire fleet. Its surface absorbed light, as if it was made to void itself. The voice returned. You scanned us. Now you must listen. Vrel felt a cold sweat on his forehead. He tried to speak, but fear held his throat. Humanity erased its history for a reason. The voice continued. We do not seek war, but we do not tolerate threats. The drones tightened their formation. The dreadnought's weapons lit up like small suns. Turn back now, the voice said, or face consequences you're not prepared to understand. Silence followed, a silence heavier than war. The Empire fleet floated in a cage of shadows, unable to move, unable to scan, unable to understand the power surrounding them. Commander Vrel felt his heart pounding as a human dreadnought drifted closer. Each movement was slow, controlled, and terrifying, like a predator that didn't need to rush. Communications. Try sending a diplomatic request. Vrel ordered weakly. We can't, sir. Every channel is blocked. They're controlling our entire network. The bridge crew exchanged nervous glances. The realization settled in like ice. Humans could rewrite their systems at will. Then the human voice returned, louder and sharper. You want to know why we are missing from your records? Vrel closed his eyes. Please explain. A hologram appeared inside every Empire ship. It showed a timeline, thousands of years, full of wars, fallen empires, and species wiped from existence. But one section was blank. A stretch of history erased perfectly. 2,000 years ago, the human voice said, we made a decision. The hologram zoomed in on the blank area. We saw what the galaxy becomes when it fears a species. So we removed ourselves from history. We deleted our existence from every archive, every scanner, every record. Vrel whispered, trembling, why would you do this? To avoid unnecessary wars. To observe quietly. To grow without interference. Images appeared of human ships evolving from small transports into enormous black dreadnoughts, designed for silence, defense, and overwhelming power. But your drone entered our system. The voice continued. You broke the peace. You forced a contact we did not want. The dreadnought charged its main weapon, but did not fire. We will give you one chance to leave. The drones pulsed with warning light. If you ignore this warning, we will defend our home. Vrel felt the final weight of the moment. Humanity wasn't reckless. They were prepared. For a long moment, the Empire fleet remained silent. Every officer, every pilot, every strategist waited for Commander Vrel to speak. But fear held him still. The human dreadnought hovered before them like a dark mountain, its weapons glowing with quiet confidence. The surrounding drones pulsed like a heartbeat, reminding the Empire that they were trapped inside a living net. Commander orders? An officer whispered. Vrel opened his mouth, but no words came out. His mind raced. If they returned home, the Empire Council would call it cowardice. If they attacked, no one knew what would happen. A cold truth settled in. They were already at a disadvantage. Before Vrel could decide, a fleet admiral from a nearby cruiser opened a private channel. Commander, the Council demands action. They refuse retreat. Vrel's eyes widened. They don't understand what we're facing. The admiral's voice shook. They believe the humans are bluffing. The word bluffing echoed through Vrel's mind. He looked again at the human dreadnought. Its structure seamless, its armor blacker than space, its presence almost ancient. No, this was not a bluff. Suddenly, the human voice returned, calm and steady. You are preparing your battle formations. We advise you to stop. The entire Empire fleet froze. They hadn't sent a single signal. They hadn't activated external channels. But somehow, the humans knew. How do they hear us? Someone whispered. The dreadnought side panels opened, revealing rows of weapons that hummed like rising storms. We will restrain your first strike, the human voice said, but we will not restrain our second. A pulse of light rippled across the dreadnought's hull. It was not a firing sequence, just a warning, but the energy reading was so high that every Empire scanner overloaded instantly. In that moment, Vrel understood. The Empire had walked into a trap built with intelligence, patience, and overwhelming power, and humanity had just decided the terms of the final confrontation. The first move came from the Empire, though not by choice. A nervous officer aboard Cruiser 7 misread a sensor spike and triggered a defensive shield pulse. It flashed across space like a spark. To the humans, it looked like the beginning of an attack. The dreadnought reacted instantly. Its weapons didn't fire beams or missiles. Instead, a silent wave spread out from its hull. Smooth, controlled, almost gentle. But when it touched the Empire's ships, the effect was devastating. One by one, the cruisers shut down. Engines offline. Weapons offline. Shields collapsed. Power vanished like breath in cold air. It wasn't destruction. It was domination. Commander Vrel watched in horror as half the fleet drifted powerless. What did they do? He whispered. A terrified engineer replied. They didn't hit us. They disconnected us. From everything. Meanwhile, the dreadnought moved closer, its shadow stretching across the frozen fleet. The observation drones tightened their circle, forming a glowing barrier that prevented escape. Then the human voice returned. Calm, final. We are sparing your lives. But your armada ends here. Vrel tried to speak, but emotion closed his throat. The dreadnought finally fired, not at the ships, but at the empty space behind them. A blinding column of white energy tore open a rift that swallowed debris, light, and even sound. It was not a weapon. It was a warning. If we wish to erase you, the voice said, your fleet would already be gone. The drones dimmed. The dreadnought turned away. The barrier opened. You will return home. You will tell your council one truth. Humanity does not bow. Humanity does not hide. We choose peace, but we do not fear war. And with that, the dreadnought vanished into the shadows of space. Commander Vrel gave the only order left. Retreat. The Empire fled. Humanity watched. And a legend was born.